Welcome to my reality, where we explore everything from the outer rim to the inner rim, and everything in between. Welcome back. In this episode, we'll be exploring the downfall of Ace's team. Ace is the team leader, followed by Spike, the doctor, Sergio, the pilot, who are also half-brothers, Elijah and Ezra, who are twins, are just part of the crew, Spoke, a gunman, and the adopted father of Elijah, and Knuckles, the robot and engineer assistant to, you guessed it, Destiny Arc. Now, they were crew before Destiny joined them, and they, over time, one or more had joined them. It started off with Ace and Ezra as a father and son duo, or relationship, and they're not actually blood related. They just see themselves in that relationship. Then it's the half brothers came in, followed by their first mission when they found Elijah, and Spoke was just an add-on. And then when Destiny joined them, which she was a part of their crew for several years, she and Sergio built a robot for an assistant. And then they were just a hired team. If you need a mission to transport goods under the radar, you chose this team. There was other groups out there who do the same kind of job, but they 100% guarantee up until they weren't, which we'll be talking about. So, when it first started to go downhill is when they got a radio call, a distress call from a group of soldiers that were trapped on a battlefield somewhere deep. And as they normally do, sometimes this group did split up, do their own side missions. And Elijah and Spoke, hearing what planet they were trapped on and potentially the breathless species that they resent, by the way. These two characters resent the breathless species for some unknown reason. They packed up their stuff, hired a ship, and left without really saying much. They just said they got a job and they'll meet up in a couple of days. And yeah, they left. And then they didn't return, which was suspicious itself. And then Elijah went missing. No, Ezra. Sorry, they're so similar. Ezra went missing, and Ace wasn't going to stand for that, and he tracked him down. The whole team backed him. Everyone was like, yeah, we need to find him. He is like a son to Ace, and Ace is our team leader and someone we all look up to, and so everyone helped him out, and it all led to the same place as where Elijah and Spoke had gone to, which they didn't know initially until they arrived there, and they picked up the distress signal while they're on the planet and doing a survey, and then they, guns a-blazing almost, they all snuck in or attacked. I'm not sure. It's very loose of what really occurred, but the facts that we do know is that they entered this building that was on the edge of this very gruesome battlefield. They found Elijah, and a group of soldiers that initially sent their distress signal. Half of them had died, but some of them had survived, and they managed to get them off onto their ship, the Fallen, and at the same time, the Breathless people came in. The Breathless have a handful of different smaller categories, and there's this one specific that are a neutral party, where they go onto battlefields where the Breathless have been already, and they do the rite of passage, where they sit by the dying soldiers for their final moments. They relay their final words to their loved ones that they have, or they give them mercy. A lot of the time soldiers are begging and pleading, and there's no way to save them. They're gonna die. And so for those ones, they do kill them and they stay with them. And then once everyone is dead or the dying have been moved away, so that the ones that can be healed and have a life after this, they put all the bodies in a pile and have mass burials or fire pits, and all of the names that they can find of the fallen, they place it nearby and say this is the area where they died, this is the battle that they took part in. The other parties that also took part in this battle, they're very neutral. Every part of the battle they kind of describe on these plaques, and this is the group that showed up. Elijah and Spoke, both hating them, and they're not caring what group they're part of. They just see Breathless, that's it. They both attack, and sadly both of them get easily defeated and killed in this battle. Ezra gets injured, and afterwards the group isn't really the same after their own funeral for these two of their comrades. They're just like, I don't know what happened. But yeah, Ezra wasn't the same. He had this darkness in him that was just, it never went away. And then and they kind of went into hiding for a little while because the Breathless, they heard about that, and they were like, you attacked our neutral party, a neutral party that even we don't attack, it's, yeah, very bizarre. And so they went into hiding, and then they were given a mission, unlike any other mission, assassination job. And by doing this job, they would never have to work again. They could find a plot on a distant world, and they never have to leave again. And it's currently what some of them wanted to do. Others, they still wanted to explore, and they're all going to separate pretty much after this job because they would be set. And so they accepted the job. And this is where their true downfall happened, or in my opinion anyway, where they went to Vixen at the beginning of the rise of the Echoers, and almost snuck into the battle and became the allies to Echoers. And while they were assisting them, some of them split off and assassinated the Queen, Dakota Silvertongue. And followed with that, they were going to kill Rogue, an ally of the Echoers, but instead the Echoers started getting suspicious of them, and so instead of killing Rogue, they kidnapped her, and one of them fled with her on a little shuttle, and they then got together to go after the third part of this bundle mission, and it was Major, a very powerful individual, and Ace only then realized like what was going on, what his team had been sent really to do, and it was a cover-up mission by the Hangmen, and it only then did it really register to him, and then Major was like, "You're indebted to me." She stopped the fight. Destiny became part of her crew by force, a part of a payment, and through a few missions that Major requested, she slowly forgave the group, and the final mission was to protect the fallen Dark Angel, who is a tool to the Hangmen, a very powerful tool that fell, and not wanting that tool to be given to anyone else, she had Ace and Ezra and Sergio stay guard. Knuckles was with Destiny and Major at the time, and yeah, it turned out that the Dark Angel had this entity inside of it and latched on to Ezra with his own darkness and twisted him into the burnt shadow. He killed Ace in the merge and very badly hurt Sergio, and eventually Major tracked him down and took him out because there was no way to revert him back to his previous self, and even if she did manage it, he would never forgive himself, and she knew that. If he found out that he killed his almost dad figure in his life, he would have never forgiven himself, and he might have even ended it himself. And yeah, Sergio, after healing, asked for Major's forgiveness of everything they'd done, and gave up his half-brother's location, and together Destiny, Major, Blue, a handful of other characters I can't name the top of my head, went off and did a rescue mission, rescued Rogue, and the children that she was carrying, and Major then went on a side mission and found Spike, who then, as he is a Familian, which is a sun being, he was shoved into a dying or dead sun and forced to be its source of eternal energy, because Familians, they create their own heat, their own power. They are as powerful as a sun, and they're everlasting. They can die. It's very hard for them to die, but they can die. But this is his prison for his part in this mission, and outside of that, Major tracked down the people that initiated this job, took down the job application, and then killed them quite quickly off after that. And that was the downfall of Ace's team. Very tragic. In their heyday, they were a very good group. They were one of the most powerfulest groups out there, and they could get the job done. It's just a shame that they picked the wrong job to do. Instead of researching it into depth or looking into why they were asked to do this job, they just went, yeah, we need the money. And it backfired very badly on them. And so, yeah. I will be going through individual little in separate episodes. So stay tuned for those, hopefully. And I'll see you in the next. Bye.